Well, in fact, Anglo-Saxon is a term that we get used first really in the early 10th century systematically, though before that it is used, interestingly, in continental context, in context coming actually from Rome. So it is a label that is contemporary with the period, though comparatively late in the Anglo-Saxon period. Other terms that come up at the time are, in fact, the word English, which is used particularly by Bede, writing his ecclesiastical history of the English people. But even that, in fact, was papal terminology from the time of Gregory the Great, round about 600. So English is a collective term that's also used for this period, but it does change over time because we're talking about a period of 500 or 600 years. There are also names that emerge, people names that emerge that are linked to the various kingdoms that we know about from Anglo-Saxon England. So Anglo-Saxon England as a kingdom in its own right really emerges in the middle part of the 10th century, the first half, the middle years of the 10th century. So round about 900 to about 950 is when we get England as an independent and unified kingdom in its own right. Before that, we're talking about multiple kingdoms, changing boundaries, changing borders over time. And the people who lived in those kingdoms at that time would almost certainly have thought of themselves as belonging to those kingdoms rather than having an overarching English identity. So we might have talked about the Northumbrians, we might have talked about the Deirans or the Bernicians or the Mercians. People might have thought of themselves as belonging to a tribal group from the kingdom of the Middle Angles or from the South Saxons. So there's a multiplicity of names that people might have recognised at the time, but it's important to remember that this changes over time. And really the Kingdom of England doesn't come into existence as a territorial entity until the 10th century.